What's going on, everybody? On today's episode of Movie Madness, we're going to be diving into Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, the latest movie in the Twisted Childhood horror movies. And I gotta tell you, this movie is pretty intense. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, as always, we are going to keep this spoiler free, so it gives you guys a chance to decide for yourself if you want to see this movie. But I'll just have to say straight up, if you weren't a fan of the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 1 and 2 or Terrifier, do not go see this movie, because literally the first 10-15 minutes into the movie, it gets bloody and it is very, very intense. Now, the story itself basically follows Peter Pan as an older guy going around kidnapping children just to take them to Neverland. And the latest victim that he chooses is the little boy named Michael, and he has older sister Wendy, which we kind of all know from the classic tale, and how she is basically going to try and save him throughout the entirety of the movie. Pretty basic premise, and literally from point A to point B, pretty simple. But what makes this movie as intense as, any other horror movie is the gore factor in this movie. I mean, like I said, first 10-15 minutes, you are going in, blood, all kinds of stuff going on everywhere as soon as this movie starts. Now, it is an understatement to say that Peter Pan in this movie is very creepy and very unhinged. This guy, there's moments in this movie where he's like turning his voice to like this sweet little innocent kid voice where he's trying to like lure kids in, and then he changes it to the deep, dark, raspy voice that he does, and it's it's freaking creepy, and definitely not, if I was a kid and I saw him, I'd be booking it the other way, because holy shit. We are getting introduced to some other characters like Tinkerbell, who is not what you really think when you think of the classic movies of the cartoons and stuff. And then we also get to see a really crazy looking Captain Hook here as well too. I don't want to spoil anything in regards to those characters, so I'll kind of leave it at that. And yeah, this movie it took the gore factor like up to like an 11, honestly. The story itself is nothing spectacular. It's literally a slasher film. So he's just going around kidnapping kids, killing anybody who's in his way, and it just kind of goes from there. Real quick, this movie was about an hour and a half. So like I said, a very straightforward slasher movie, nothing too like crazy and grandiose, if I had to say. Like I mentioned before, this movie is another addition into the Twisted Childhood horror series that they're doing. It started off with Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and then you had Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, then you had this one. We are also getting a Bambi movie called Bambi the Reckoning, which, if I am correct, it's going to be showing in the other theaters as well. They gave us like a little like clip of the movie kind of introducing Bambi, and that's just nuts too. We are also getting Pinocchio Unstrung, and then to bring all these monsters together, we're literally getting a movie called Poohniverse Monsters Unleashed, where all these crazy creatures and everything that we've been introduced get run in together. And apparently Peter Pan is going to be like one of the main villains for that movie. So in the movie with everything is trying to kill you, and you have one side that's way more eviler than the other, that's just kind of crazy in my book. But yeah, he's gonna be joined by Mary Poppins, Mad Hatter. They're gonna be like the trio of villains versus like Winnie the Pooh, his friends, Pinocchio, and all these other crazy characters that are gonna be on that side. So it's gonna be one heck of a movie. I'm 100% down, ready to see it, honestly. Like I said before, this is just a straight up slasher movie. Nothing grandiose, nothing spectacular. Just a way for them to introduce this character that's going to play a more bigger role towards the end of this whole crazy twisted universe that they're creating. So I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 5. Gore factor, crazy. Story itself was lacking a little bit. It's not really giving you too much. maybe a little history on Peter and stuff like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's not nothing like aha, like an aha moment with it. Although an interesting ending though, I'll give it that, because yeah, it gets a little crazy. Well guys, that's all I got for you today. As of right now, what I've been told is that this movie is actually going to be out only 3 days in the US, so today being one of the days, tomorrow and also Wednesday. So if you really want to check this out and not miss any of the movies that's part of this crazy twisted childhood horror universe, I would definitely go check it out sooner rather than later. And if you do, come back and let me know what you think about it in the comments. First horror movie of the year, and I already got it in the books. So as always guys, I appreciate you for checking out another episode of Movie Madness, and I'll see you on the next one.